Hey guys, and welcome back. This is Queen3210, and as promised, we are back for some more Nonary Games 999. So, as we learned in the previous video, we unlocked a second ending. That would be the submarine ending right here. Eventually, he found himself in front of the submarine. His arm reached for the hatch. And I won't ever find out who fucking did it. But in addition to that, we have unlocked a couple of scenarios. So initially, I was going to go back here and choose door 7, as that is the door that we hadn't chosen yet. And then we would go from there. But what we are doing now instead is we are jumping back to the decision between the 4th and 5th doors. We're going to pick the 4th doors again, because again, we've unlocked a couple of things. I don't know how well that's going to go, but yeah, we'll see. We'll figure it out. Okay, so it doesn't seem like there's much of a difference between the last time I played this, apart from like a couple of different options. Oh, but this just got locked.
Sure you don't...
Actually, I'll take it. If Santa wanted him to have it that much, Junpei couldn't see any harm in taking it.
Actually, I guess I'll take it.
Jeez, just make up your mind, alright?
Before Junpei could change his mind again,
Here.
Santa shoved the bookmark into his hand.
Okay.
He took it clumsily and stuffed it into the inside of his pocket vest.
Oh, man, I feel a lot better now. That thing was a real pain, you know?
Do you really hate those 4 words that much?
Yeah, well, they can all betray you, you know?
A few moments later.
In the meantime, let's unlock what's it called? Let's unlock the 7th room. He lifted Ace up off the floor and laid him on the bed he'd been leaning against. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity.
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste, right?
Like you even mean that.
You say something?
No, nothing.
It felt wrong, but he had to agree. Then suddenly, Santa spoke.
Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's true.
Enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want?
I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number.
Got it. You're 8. You're next, 7. Which one do you want?
I'll take 7. I can't get along with that old lady.
Ouch.
What? What did you just say?
Her face distorted by rage, Lotus took a step towards 7. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Who, me? I didn't say nothing.
Oh, you're gonna get it next time.
She shot him a glare that would have melted steel, then turned and stalked away.
Alright, who's next?
Santa's gaze moved across the 3 people left. Finally, they stopped on Junpei.
Junpei, which door do you want?
At last. Junpei's mind was already made up. So we've already picked 3. So we're gonna go with door 7.
I think I'm gonna go with door 7.
Okay, 7 it is.
Yeah.
Alright then. That means June's gotta go through 8.
What? Why?
What?
Santa grimaced and muttered angrily to himself, but finally began to explain.
If the 6 of us are gonna keep going without leaving anyone behind, there are only 3 ways we can do it.
Plan A.
Have 3, 5, and 8 go through 7, and 4, 6, and 7 go through 8.
Plan B.
4, 5, and 7 go through 7, and 3, 6, and 8 go through 8.
Plan C.
Or 3, 6, and 7 go through 7, and 4, 5, and 8 get 8. There are no other combinations. In other words, 3 and 4 and 7 and 8 can never go through the same doors.
And same with 5 and 6.
You get it now?
As Santa finished, June looked over at Junpei, tears welling up in the corner of her eyes.
Oh no! You're saying we aren't gonna see each other again for a long time.
Junpei felt just as June did. He wanted to be at her side through whatever trials they were preparing to face. But he knew if they were to survive, he had to swallow his feelings. In order for the six of them to move forward, he and June had to be separated. He looked at June. He was scared to lose her, but he swallowed, steeled his resolve, and did his best to smile.
Hey, come on. You're making it sound like we're never gonna see each other again. We gotta split up, but only for a while. This is just like when we went into the 4 and 5 doors, remember? We got split up then too, but we all met back up. I'll bet 7 and 8 are just like that.
You mean they're connected somewhere?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
She didn't sound very hopeful. It was 7 that interjected.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna connect somewhere.
Why? What makes you think so?
If they don't, then neither team can get through door 9. In other words, the game would end right here. Zero's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now. I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun as long as possible. He's not gonna end this game until we get through the 9 door.
June said nothing. The tears were gone, but her eyes were still sad as they looked at Junpei. He met them, and with what reassurance he could manage, laid his hand gently on her shoulder.
Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna see each other again. I promise.
June bit her lip and gave him an almost imperceptible nod.
Yes. Promise?
Her voice was barely above a whisper. Santa's voice shattered the moment.
You guys are done, right?
He stretched and continued.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. Clover and I will both go into separate groups. I figure I'll take 8 and Clover can take 7. Any problems with that, Clover?
Clover looked away and was silent for a moment.
Whatever.
It was more of a dismissal than an agreement, but Santa didn't seem to care.
All right, we're ready to go then. Let's move.
At Santa's command, the group split and headed for their respective doors. Clover, 7, and Junpei walked towards door 7. Santa, Lotus, and June headed for door 8. For a long moment, they stood in front of the door. 7 took a deep breath.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go.
It's open.
A narrow hallway stretched out before them. 7 and Clover leapt through the door.
Let's do this!
Hurry!
The moment they did, their bracelets beeped. The detonators in the bracelets had been activated. Junpei stepped forward to follow them. But as he was about to step over the threshold, he stopped. He looked to his right, towards door 8. June stood there, a mirror image of Junpei. She turned and looked towards him. Their eyes met. They nodded.
June.
Jumpy.
Their farewell took almost 1.5 seconds.
What the hell are you doing, Junpei?
So I still get pulled either way. That's fine. When someone took hold of Junpei's arms and hauled him bodily through the door. He heard the sound of a numbered door slam shut behind him. His bracelet gave a cold electronic beep.
Only 81 seconds left! No time to waste, guys! Let's get moving!
7 led the way down the hallway. Junpei and Clover followed him as fast as they could. After what seemed like more than 81 seconds, they reached the end of the hall.
Look! The door on the left! I can see the dead!
There was no time to rest or catch their breath. All 3 slammed their hands in quick succession over the scanner panel of the dead. Still trying to catch his breath, 7 leaned heavily against the wall.
It stopped. It stopped.
His smile seemed forced and a little crooked.
This is the second time we've gone through one of these numbered doors, but... Whew. You never really get used to it.
He stood up straight, no longer out of breath, and wiped some of the sweat from his forehead and neck. Clover smirked at him.
I would have thought a guy your size would have bigger balls than that.
Oh!
What? What the hell did you just say? Say it again! I dare you!
You have no...
You little... You wanna die?
I'd like to see you try.
You fucking brat! Alright, let's go!
Hey, calm
Guys,
down, guys.
chill the
This isn't
fuck
time
out.
for this.
I mean, I'm glad to see Clover a little more animated here, but Jesus. Like, calm the fuck down, guys.
It's not gonna do us any good. Gosh.
Junpei sighed. Sometimes he wondered if the doors and the puzzles were really the greatest challenges they faced.
Wait here for a minute, alright? I'm gonna go see if there are any other doors.
Just don't kill each other while I'm gone, please. They didn't respond, but Junpei wasn't in the mood for a conversation anyway.
We just came through this door. And of course it's shut tight.
There's a short hallway on the left here, and an iron wall. I doubt I can get through it.
At last he gave up and returned to Seven, who was tapping lightly on the wooden door.
This door's the only option we've got, right?
Yeah, looks like it.
Hey, something's written on the door. On that iron plate.
It says operating room. If this thing's telling the truth, there could be body parts inside here.
Oh, good.
Well, this is probably not going to be pleasant.
Something about it made Junpei feel nervous.
Well, there's no point to standing around. Might as well go in and see what's waiting for us.
Seven grabbed the brass knob and slowly opened the door. The creak of the hinge sounded like the groan of an old woman.
What's wrong?
No, it's nothing.
A chill snaked its way down Junpei's spine.
Let's just go.
Quickly, he gathered what courage he could and took the first step into the room. Seven followed with Clover right behind him.
Huh?
Part of the room just past the door was obscured by a screen.
What the hell is this?
Why don't we take a look?
Hey, Clover!
Clover's curiosity got the better of her, and she darted past Junpei to peer around the screen. Her scream nearly blew out Junpei's eardrums.
Clover!
He and Seven ran toward Clover to see what had frightened her.
Hey, what's wrong?
They rounded the screen, and the cause of her outburst was immediately clear.
What the hell is this?
I don't think that's a real body. It looks like a mannequin.
Is this a corpse?
It was something that looked kind of human, lying across some sort of bed. No, not a bed. An operating table. The table sat on a rusty steel lift, and a cluster of bright operating lights shone down on it from the ceiling.
We should probably take a closer look.
Yeah.
Slowly they approached. As they got closer to the body, it became clear that it wasn't a body at all.
This is...
Yeah, it's a dummy.
What the hell? That's just a huge doll or something.
Doll?
Clover did not look terribly comforted. Slowly she approached the operating table and looked as intently as possible from as far away as possible at the thing. Junpei could see her relax.
You're right. It's only a doll. Man, it really scared me.
She heaved a great sigh of relief and wiped a few drops of sweat from her forehead. Seven smirked.
Well, I guess it would have been weird if you actually had any balls.
Ouch! Guys, come on.
Shut it! Don't you start with me, fatty.
Oh. Body shaming is not okay.
Oh, what's this? You want a piece of me, short stuff?
Yeah, bring it on, you whale!
Hey, guys, not again, okay? Seriously, knock it off. Jeez. Anyway, it looks like he's got something the two of you could stand to have a little more of.
A heart.
I'm talking about a heart.
Huh? Oh, this? You mean on his chest?
Yeah.
It was set a little higher than normal for a human body, but from the shape of the organ, there could be no doubt that it was a heart.
Why would there be a heart in a doll?
I don't think it's a doll.
You think maybe it's like a medical mannequin or something?
Or maybe it's got more personal uses.
Seven's grin was more than a little perverted. Clover glared at him.
Anyway, how about we take a look around this place? Let's go.
Okay.
Sure thing.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing. Yeah. So first things first. A medical mannequin with its guts showing. Ew. Gross. Hey, Junpei. There's a slit in this thing's chest. Yeah, sure is. There's something in there. Maybe we can get it out. Damn it. Stinking thing won't budge. It's stuck. Well, I guess you can't use force on this one then. We need something small that can fit into that little hole. Okay. Like a scalpel? A scalpel that's not rusty. Seems like it was put here for a reason, huh? Think he's telling us to cut something? Yeah, I do. Okay, back to the mannequin. An internal organ, specifically a lung. You can see this thing's internal organs. If we had something that could fit into those cracks, maybe we could take out some of the internal organs. Okay, I guess it's not the scalpel. Moving on. Maybe you're supposed to heat something like that gauze to kill the bacteria. There's a boiling thingy over there. There's nothing on the lid or in the drawers. Ah, it's a fake chest. Ew, that's gross. That's the chest. It's a woman's chest. The heart's gone, but it's pretty hot. If that kind of thing turns you on, Seven, you're a real creepo. Thing for boiling tools to sterilize them. There's nothing in the drawer. Okay. There are a lot of different kinds of medication. It's hard to tell them apart. What's this thing? It's got these short iron legs. Maybe it's a heater? There's nothing inside. Are those scissors? They look kind of funny. No, that's probably a pair of kosher forceps. Surgeons use them during operations. They can hold blood vessels shut and keep tissues out of the way. We can use it to pull stuff out of small holes or something like that. Okay, so this is what we need. A bunch of surgical tools. Ah! This bed doesn't look very comfortable. Another medical mannequin? From the looks of it, this one's a chick. She has a name too. Lucy. Lucy. Poor thing. Looks like Miss Lucy only has a head and a left arm. Maybe we're supposed to gather up all our pieces? Lucy's head and left arm are sitting on the bed. Maybe something will happen if we gather all of her body parts. Okay, so I have one piece, but we need more. I understand. Fake organ. So he took the organ thingy out of the chest thingy. It's a lung, not an organ thingy. Huh? This part here on the back, it's all rubbery. You're right. So it's a fake organ, of course. It'd be... Wait. What's Seven grabbing it for? Hey, it feels like there's something in here. Think we can cut through the rubber part? Well, only one way to find out. Let's try cutting this organ with a scalpel. Oh, it's a key. There's a key in this organ. Found a key in the internal organ. Well, Just a wooden partition. Nothing special about it. White cloth. Awesome, it's unlocked. Oh, sweet.
Hey, Junpei, you think there are any slugs on the ship?
Huh?
Well, if there are, I was thinking we could put salt on them.
What's she pointing at? Label states NaCl. Salt, huh?
Do you think Seven will shrivel up if we put it on him?
Hey, you say something? 1 is iron, 2 is salt, 3 is water, carbon dioxide is question mark, ammonia is question mark, and ethanol is question mark. Okay, those seem important, so I gotta write them down. I just need to find something to write with.
A few moments later.
And I got it.
Okay. So bear with me, folks. I'm just writing it down real quick.
A few moments later.
So I guess that's a code for this box. This thing won't open. Is it locked?
Probably need to put in a passcode. I mean, geez, we've even got a keypad on here. How much more obvious can you get?
I can only enter 3 numbers. E is for enter and C is for clear. Once you input the numbers, press E. If you mess up, press C. Let's give it a shot. No, let's not, because I don't know what the code is. Blue liquid.
It looks like there's something inside that bottle.
Why don't you try pouring some of it out into the cap? Can't see any reason why not.
What's that? It's bright blue. Do you think it's alien blood?
Where the hell did that come from?
Then what do you think it is, Seven?
I don't know, some sort of special bath soap? Ugh, what a boring guess. Okay. Red liquid. Looks like there's something inside that bottle. Why don't you try pouring some of it out onto the cap? Can't see any reason why not.
What's that? It's bright red. Do you think it's blood?
No, blood's thicker than that.
Then what is it?
Beats me. So wait a minute, hold on. Let's see what happens if we combine them, if we can. Nope, we can't. Okay, moving on.
Something stinks.
Is it coming from this bottle? It says NH3. Well, that sort of stinks. It's ammonia. Oh, good stuff. Let's go for a drink. What are you talking about? I'm talking about that bottle. It says C2H50H, right? It's ethanol. That's right. It's also known as ethyl alcohol. Pretty much what booze is made of. So, you're gonna drink it. Nah, I won't. Might say what is on the label, but there could be anything in there. What's this? Looks like a can with a spray nozzle. It says CO2. So it's a can filled with carbon dioxide? Hey, Junpei! There's the dihydrogen monoxide on that shelf. Why don't you just say water? There's a canister of carbon dioxide on the shelf. The label says CO2. There's a bottle of water on the shelf. The label says H2O. There's a bottle of salt on the shelf. The label says NaCl.
Junpei, there's a bottle of iron powder on the shelf.
How do you know it's iron?
The label says Fe. Fe stands for iron, right?
Okay. So I guess the number is represented by its spot on the scientific map? I don't know. I'm confused. I've got no idea.
Junpei, where are you going?
That's the door we came through.
The only thing out there is the numbered door.
Pretty sure I don't need to tell you that the numbered door is the one-way deal. So, you're saying there's no point going back there, huh? And they're nodding. Awesome. Ah, preparation room. It's locked. Cool, it's unlocked. I think you hang your coat here. There's a bunch of hooks. Ah, let's see. Ha, piece of paper. What's this? Is this some kind of medical record? New material has been added to the file screen. Okay, so let's take a look. That. Okay, I know how to go back to the main menu now. Medical record. A medical record found in the preparation room. It has records for the 2 mannequins. There is a male mannequin named John and a female named Lucy. The records show each mannequin's total weight and the weight of their individual parts. Okay. This will come in handy, I guess. There's a ray of light going through the beaker.
And it's hitting the thing on the right. The white light on the top is glowing.
Yeah, but the red, blue, and purple ones still aren't. Okay. Hey, the blue light turned on.
And I hear a noise. Sounds like something unlocking.
What's this? A light switch? Doesn't seem to be working. It's locked. Won't even budge.
Do you think this is the exit?
There's a symbol engraved over the keyhole.
Hey, this is the Jupiter symbol.
Hey, wasn't this Jupiter symbol engraved on the keyhole in the other door? Other door?
The door at the end of the hallway with all those rooms.
You think maybe this door and that door use the same key? Maybe. Ah! Oh, leg!
This is the left foot of the mannequin. Do you think I'm better?
Not saying a word. What?
Do you think my legs are skinnier?
Locker with a red plate on it. It's locked. And a locker with a purple plate on it. It's locked. Okay, so I know what to do.
I found a beaker. The red light's on now.
I think I heard another noise. The right foot of a medical mannequin. Guess it's a woman's foot, but damn, doesn't look hot at all. Have you got a thing for feet?
Have you got a thing for feet, Seven?
No, that's crazy.
You sure are acting kind of shady.
And there we go. I get it. You combine the red liquid and the blue liquid to make a purple one.
Good job, Junpei. The purple light came on and I heard it unlock. I'm sure it's unlocked. The locker with the purple plate has gotta be unlocked.
Alright, let's see what's happened. This is a real big nose.
This is a real big nose.
That's no nose. It's a stomach.
Oh. A stomach.
Well, I guess we go back out the way we came. Sink. The doctors and nurses probably washed their hands here before an operation. Nothing suspicious here.
Ah.
What the hell are you doing? Don't you want to get out of here?
But I'm
tired. Cabinet with a drawer in it. There's nothing left in the drawer. Okay. I guess we go back. Right cloth. An old hard bed. Lucy's head and left arm are sitting on the bed. Maybe something will happen if we gather all of her body parts. Okay, so we're missing her right arm. Okay, I get it.
This doll over here looks like a woman.
You mean Lucy?
Yeah.
Hey, this thing says something too. It says John. Miss Lucy over there has only got a head and the left arm. Looks like John still got all his parts though. What the hell's going on here?
Hey, I wonder what this thing is. It says kilograms on the display.
You think maybe it's a scale?
Operating table. Do you think old operating tables look like this?
I have no idea. So I guess we have to go back and solve the puzzle that was in here. It's a chemical closet. C is carbon, H is hydrogen, and O is oxygen.
So basically, ethanol is made up of 2 carbon atoms, 6 hydrogen atoms, and 1 oxygen atom.
What did you say? Ethanol equals 2 plus 6 plus 1. So that's 9. CO2. C is for carbon and O is oxygen.
So carbon dioxide is made up of 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms.
Yeah, and that's why it's 3. Okay, yeah, so I'm on the right track here. So what was Na is sodium and Cl is chloride.
So salt is made up of 1 sodium atom and 1 chloride atom.
Okay, so so it's basically the molecules that make up. The bottle of ammonia, it says NH3 on the label. NH3. N is nitrogen and H is hydrogen.
So in other words, ammonia is made up of 1 nitrogen atom and 3 hydrogen atoms.
So that was ammonia, I think. So that's 4. There's a bottle of ethanol on the shelf. Ethanol is made up of okay, I got that one already. H20. H must mean hot, and O probably stands for orphans. So H2O must be 2 hot orphans.
7. Is your head okay?
Ah. The bottle of iron powder on the shelf. It says Fe on the bottle. There's a canister of carbon dioxide on the shelf. The CO2 module is made up of 1 carbon atom and 2. So that's still 3. Rectangular table. I wonder, did people mix medicine on this thing? There's a note on the table. 1 is salt, 1 is iron, 2 is salt, 3 is water. Carbon dioxide, question mark, ammonia, question mark, ethanol, question mark.
What do you think this is a hint for?
Maybe it's got something to do with this box? Okay, so 3, 4, 9. Nope. Oh, yeah! Holy shit! A heart. This thing is super creepy. This ain't good for the heart. It's the right arm of the body. It's kind of creepy. Okay, so I think we're done here.
You think we should go back?
Yeah, I think that's probably best.
Clover nodded and left. Junpei was about to follow her when he realized that Seven wasn't following suit.
Hey, Seven, what's up?
Oh, well,
He looked up at Junpei distractedly, and then back down at the brown bottle he held cupped in his large hands.
Is that a medicine bottle?
I got curious about it. Here.
In response, Seven tossed the bottle gently to Junpei. He caught it and twisted it around to read the label.
Ethylene diamine tartrate?
Yeah, that's right. CDT.
Okay.
What kind of medicine is that?
It's not medicine. I think it's an industrial strength detergent.
Why would they have something like that here?
Well, probably to clean stuff up.
Clean what up?
Fuck if I know. Still, it looks like it's cleaned my brain up.
Junpei looked up from the bottle.
You remember something?
Yeah.
Seven nodded slowly and spoke.
Well, I remember a story about EDT. Happened about 50 years ago. There was this factory somewhere in America making big old EDT crystals. They were making it to sell as an industrial strength cleaner, like I told you before.
Okay.
But a year after the factory started up, something strange started happening with the crystals they were building. Water molecules started attaching themselves to the EDT crystals. This made them into a sort of mutation of the original crystals, called a hydrate. Once the crystals turn into a hydrate, though, it's useless as a cleaner. The factory had to just dump the crystals. As a hydrate, they were useless. But
Okay.
it didn't end there. After that day, the same thing started happening in EDT factories everywhere, even ones nowhere near that first American factory. They'd been making crystals the same way, the same materials and the same equipment and environment. But now, all of a sudden, every single crystal they formed turned into a hydrate.
Okay. So this is kind of like what happened with the Ice 9.
In fact, ever since that day, no factory anywhere has been able to make a pure EDT crystal. Even in EDT research done years before, they'd never gotten a hydrate. After it happened at the first factory, it just spread. It was like, how do you say it?
A contagion?
Like the molecules were communicating with one another, transmitting information in a way humans couldn't perceive. This phenomena spread throughout the world. Right.
Junpei looked up at Seven with a half smirk. Seven stared at him dumbfounded.
Yeah, that's it exactly. But how did you know?
I heard another story, kind of like that one.
When?
In the freezer?
What? The freezer?
Yeah, June told me.
Junpei told Seven the story he'd heard from June in the freezer in the kitchen. How one day, glycerin began to crystallize. And the story of ice that wouldn't melt at room temperature. When Junpei was done, Seven looked thoughtful and absent-mindedly rubbed the scar on his chin.
Ice that doesn't melt at room temperature, huh?
That sounds familiar?
Yeah, hold on. I feel like I can remember something. It's right there.
Right, itching at the back of his neck. Seven squinted. His eyes stared off into space as if he were trying desperately to focus on something far away.
Do you?
Know about Ice 9?
Do you know about Ice 9?
Ice 9? Ice 9. Ice 9. Ice.
Suddenly, Seven's eyes shut open.
That's it. I remember now. That woman, she's on this boat.
That woman?
Which woman?
Alice!
Who's Alice?
Come on. The woman who won't melt at room temperature.
Huh?
It became clear to Seven that Junpei had no idea what he was talking about. He ran his hand across his face and took a deep breath.
You know how the Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912, right?
Yeah?
Yeah. More than 1,500 people died. Worst maritime accident in history. What about it?
Did you hear about the boat that was sent to collect the dead bodies?
I think that was the RMS Carpathia, right? It was a cruise liner, just like the Titanic.
No, that was the ship that picked up the survivors.
Okay.
The ship that collected the dead bodies was the CS McCade Bennett. The McKay Bennett showed up on April 17th, 2 days after the accident. It set out from Halifax, a port in Canada, and recovered 306 bodies. The Atlantic that far north was really cold. It would have to be for there to be icebergs and stuff.
Yeah, that does kind of vaguely ring a bell. I think I remember hearing about that in school.
Anyway, the bodies they pulled out of the water were frozen solid.
This isn't a very nice story.
No!
So, what happened next?
Well, they say the McKay Bennett recovered something more than just dead bodies.
Oh?
There were various bits of stuff floating around in the water. Things the drowned had carried with them, or stuff that dislodged as the ship sank.
Yeah.
One of the things they found was a coffin.
Oh. Oh, the story June told us about. The coffin of the mummy.
A coffin?
Yeah, a wooden one. The craftsman who made it must have been pretty skilled. It wasn't just a wooden coffin. It was all wood, no nails, no reinforcements, no gaps in the wood anywhere. The thing was airtight. The crew got pretty curious about what might be inside it and opened it up. They had to get a wedge and hammer it open. It was so well made.
It's the mummy.
Inside, they found a woman. Or, I guess you should say, they found the dead body of a woman. Her hair was thick and black, and her skin rich brown with no blemishes or signs of decomposition. They say that she looked gorgeous. She was obviously dead, but everyone who looked at her said she just looked like she was sleeping. Her skin was so lifelike, she looked like she might wake up any minute. And she didn't. Like the rest of the bodies they found, she was frozen solid. Eventually, the McKay Bennett finished searching and returned to Halifax. The 306 bodies were unloaded and taken ashore. However, it was warm enough that they began to thaw. They say that the stink was horrible.
Yeah.
There was one body that didn't thaw.
The body of the mummy.
And that was...
The girl in the coffin.
That's right. Everybody thought for sure that she'd melt and start to rot like the rest of them eventually. But weeks passed and nothing happened. A month passed, and another. It was summer, and she was still frozen solid. After a while, people started to say she was some sort of miracle. Rumors about her started to spread. People came to visit Halifax from all over. After a while, people started to call her All Ice.
All ice, Alice, got it.
Alice. Of course, those rumors didn't last long.
Why?
Well, she up and disappeared. One day Alice was there, the next day she wasn't. They say someone snuck into where they were keeping her and stole the body. With the body gone, the rumors followed pretty quickly. And after a while, no one remembered her. You might be able to find something about her if you could find a newspaper from back then, but that's about it.
Wait, you just said that she was on this boat.
Yeah, I did. Alice has got to be somewhere on this ship.
What makes you say that, though?
Now why the hell would you say something like that?
Because I know.
Okay. Elaborate.
And just what is it you know?
What happened to Alice after she was stolen?
Okay. Explain. Junpei gulped.
Alright, tell me. What happened to Alice?
Seven nodded slowly and took on the look of a man recalling something long buried.
Well, around that time, the word was that there was a special black market in New York. All millionaires from all over the world. I've heard that Alice went up for auction there. The person who won the auction was Lord Dashiell Gordain.
Ah, the same one who apparently collected all things Titanic.
You've heard that name before, right?
Yep.
Lord Gordain. Oh, isn't he the guy who bought the Gigantic? The Titanic sister ship?
Yeah, that's him. Although I guess he hadn't done that yet.
What do you mean?
Gordain bought Alice in 1912. 4 years later, in 1916, he bought the Gigantic. And he hid Alice somewhere on the Gigantic. But nobody knows where. He died in 1931. And apparently he died without ever telling anyone where Alice was hidden.
Interesting.
However...
Okay, however.
However, what?
Well, he did have one close friend who asked him, "Where is Alice?" And he said, "Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic."
What the hell is that? Is it some kind of riddle?
So beyond a library, I guess?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Seven threw his hands up in defeat.
So that's it. Whatever you think, I believe it. She's hidden somewhere on the Gigantic. In other words, she's hidden somewhere on this ship.
Before Junpei could dispute Seven's rather bizarre claim. as Junpei was trying to figure out what on earth he was going to say next. Clover's shrill voice pierced the room.
Hey! What are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here!
Okay, we're coming.
Jeez!
Seven looked at Junpei.
Yeah, so anyway, that's the story. It might be useful someday. Don't forget it.
I don't think I will. With that cryptic remark, he turned and left the room.
Alice. Huh.
Junpei was left behind to ponder what he'd just heard. He tried to remember what June had told him earlier.
That mummy wasn't just a normal mummy. They say that she was frozen. The story says that from the time of its discovery all the way through to when it got put on the Titanic, even though it was carried through the desert, her body never melted.
Then was that Egyptian priestess Alice?
Seems like.
Did the water in her body become Ice 9? No, that's nuts. There's no way somebody like that could exist.
Junpei shook his head, trying desperately to clear it, and followed Seven to the operating room where Clover was waiting. So before we continue with that, we're going to take a look at the flow. Nope, it's not going to show us until after we've solved this puzzle, I guess. Okay. Proceeding. An old hard bed. Okay, so we've collected the 6 parts of the medical mannequin. So the ones we've got must be for Lucy, right?
Yeah.
Seems like it. Well, I say we give Lucy her parts back. Any objections?
Nope.
Agreed. Alright, let's get started. Combine!
Hey, nothing happened.
That's odd. Maybe it's the wrong weight.
Wait?
Yeah, well, you know how there's a scale on the side of the bed? Maybe we need to get the scale to a specific number. How are we gonna do that? I think we're supposed to swap her body parts with John's.
Oh.
Let's give it a shot. Operating instructions. The screen will display 2 medical mannequins. You can switch their body parts by selecting the part you want to switch out. Okay. So the arm and the head, we can't. No dice. I think if we knew the weight of each part, we could figure it out.
Oh, there's a number on there.
51 kilograms? What's this? Is this the weight? Well, we were just stacking body parts on it, so it makes sense that it would be the weight. So, back. Menu. File. So we need John's to be 51.3 and Lucy's to be 53.2. Okay. Guess that's what we have to do. Oh, nice. Got it. Hey, Junpei, I just heard something. Came from John's operating table. We better check it out. Okay. An old operating table. The mechanical mannequin is lying on it. Hey, Junpei, look over at the scale. Okay, fine. Huh? The lid on the scale. Hey, it opened. Oh, I get it. It must have opened because we matched John's weight to what's on the chart. And that would be the Jupiter key. Hey! The symbol engraved on that key. Isn't it the Jupiter key symbol? Then that means... Yep, it means we can get out of here.
Hey, hold on.
Junpei stopped, about to put the key into the doorknob.
Oh, what's up?
Where's Clover?
Good question, actually.
Huh?
Wasn't she right behind us? Junpei turned around. Clover was nowhere to be seen.
Oh, God damn it. Where the hell did she go? Okay, just hold on a minute. I'll go get her.
Sure thing.
Junpei left Seven at the door and headed back to the operating room. He found her standing next to the operating table. She was staring at the mannequin.
Hey, Clover. What's wrong? Come on. Let's get out of here.
She didn't respond. If she hadn't been standing up and breathing, Junpei might have thought she was dead.
What are you doing? Did you want to come back here and say goodbye to John?
Wow. It wasn't the best joke, but it was something. An attempt to lighten the mood. Clover didn't laugh. She stood stock still and said nothing.
Hey, Clover.
Can you hear me? Perhaps it was something he'd said, or perhaps it was something else. Suddenly, her mouth opened and she whispered in a dry, dead voice.
My brother might be dead.
Huh?
That's why we couldn't find him. If he's dead, I'm going to be next.
Suddenly, the operating room felt very, very cold.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with you?
He gave her a small shake, but she still didn't respond. The silence grew heavier. Junpei, what do you want to do? Give her the 4-leaf clover. Yeah, let's give her the 4-leaf clover. I mean, there's gotta be a reason why we got it from Snake and why it considers unlocking something.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't know why, but suddenly Junpei remembered something he'd been given earlier.
It's in my pocket somewhere. Here it is.
He reached into his pocket and dug it out.
A 4-leaf clover.
Santa had given it to him in the second classroom. He held it out to Clover.
Hey, did you know? Each leaf means something. Hope, faith, love, and luck. That's what a 4-leaf clover stands for. Take it. Use it as a good luck charm.
He pressed the 4-leaf clover into her hand.
Listen to me, Clover. No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love. If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck.
Aw, that's kind of sweet.
Snake, I mean, your brother, he's not dead.
No, he is.
He's alive somewhere.
Or-
I'm sure of it.
Okay,
You just gotta believe in that.
let me reaffirm. I think he's alive. If I was speaking in game, I would probably think he was dead. But I'm pretty sure he is alive. Clover stared at the 4-leaf clover in her hand. He could see tears starting to form at the corner of her eyes.
Thank you.
Her voice was tiny and broken, and as she spoke, she started to cry. She tried to hide her tears by looking at the floor, but it did little good. She wiped away tears with the baggy arm of her jacket, but more quickly took their place. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't stop crying. Her tears made small wet circles on the floor.
Thank you.
She said it again. Then she looked up at Junpei and seemed to choke down the last of her grief. She did her best to smile. Junpei wiped an errant tear from her cheek with his thumb and gave her the best smile he could manage.
Oh, come on. Seven's waiting for us at the exit.
But still, she didn't move.
Wait, before we go, there's one thing I want to ask you.
Okay.
What's that?
What do you think when you hear the word experiment?
For a moment, his mind froze. Then he came back to his senses and realized the word meant nothing to him, aside from the dictionary definition.
What?
Oh. I guess it was just a coincidence then. I mean, that you knew about the four-leaf clover.
Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a jerk, but you are making less than no sense right now.
Oh, no. It's nothing. Just forget about it.
Oh, don't give me that. You really think I could just drop this? What is this experiment you were talking about?
Clover looked away. The four-leaf clover was still in her hand. She stared at it for a long moment and then finally spoke.
You promise you won't tell anyone?
Cross my heart.
Really?
Really?
I can trust you, right?
Not even June is what she's going to say, at which point Junpei's going to go, sure.
Of course you can.
Clover slipped the four-leaf clover into her pocket. Her eyes still red from crying, she looked up at Junpei.
Okay then, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened on this ship 9 years ago.
Oh! So she knows.
Wait. On this ship?
Yeah, this ship.
He was entirely lost. He had 1,000 questions, but it was probably best, he thought, to save them until Clover had finished.
It was an experiment to test some sort of psychic thing.
This is exactly what we heard when we went to door 2.
Have you heard about the Gansfeld experiment? This is how it's set up.
Okay.
First, subjects Q and A are put into separate rooms, far away from one another. Then a series of video images are shown to subject Q, who is told to send the images to subject A by thinking about it.
Telepathy. They were investigating telepathy.
Communicating through these fields that you can't see.
Fields that you can't see?
He'd heard something like this before. Clover nodded.
Like, think about this.
She pointed at the operating table. On top of it was a somewhat mismatched medical mannequin whose parts had been swapped with another mannequin.
This is John, right?
Yeah?
But is he really John?
Well, he's got mostly Jane parts, so I guess you could argue he's not.
Huh?
All Junpei could think was she has finally completely lost it.
Isn't this like Locke's socks? Or the ship of Theseus?
Junpei grew even more confused. He'd never heard of either of those things, although they sounded smart.
You don't know? You haven't heard of those paradoxes?
No?
Junpei shook his head.
Really?
Clover laughed.
Okay, well pay attention then. This is how Locke's socks works. Let's say I've got a pair of socks. They're my favorite socks.
Okay.
One of them gets a hole in it.
Ah, that's a shame. I hate it when that happens. That's terrible.
What would you do if that was your sock, Junpei?
Both pairs would go in the garbage for me anyway. But I guess the idea is to patch it up.
Well, I guess I'd patch it up, get some cloth, and close up the hole.
But what if another hole opens?
I'd add another patch.
What if another hole opened after that?
Another patch, I guess?
Well, let's say you just keep adding new patches. Until eventually, the original cloth of the sock is totally gone.
Oh, I see. So basically, are you replacing it or are you tossing it?
Once you get to that point, can you really say they're the same socks you started with?
Well, that's tough.
Junpei crossed his arms.
So, that's the Locke socks thing?
Yeah, the ship of Theseus is a lot like it. The ship of Theseus. If you keep fixing the damaged parts of a ship, eventually it ends up with none of the parts it started with. Can you really say that ship is the same one you started with? And what if you took all the old parts from the first ship and built another one somewhere else? Then which ship is the real ship of Theseus?
That's a valid point.
The one you repaired, or the one you built with all the original parts?
It was an interesting question. Clover could see Junpei was intrigued.
Hey, do you think it's the same?
What's the same?
These guys. Is this John, or is it Lucy now?
Junpei looked at the operating table again. A mannequin full of body parts from a different body. Clover had been right. It was just like Locke's sock and the ship of Theseus. The part of the body that holds a person's identity is the head. Of course, for many hundreds of years, conventional wisdom had held that a man's identity resided in his heart, or any of a number of internal organs. And here they had both.
John's head and heart are both his, but apart from those, and a single arm, the rest of his body was once Lucy's.
Was that mannequin really John?
We're just like these mannequins.
She looked at Junpei again.
Think about it. The cells in our body change every day. Old ones die and new ones are born. Maybe part of my arm is made of stuff from a fish I ate once. Or maybe part of your right side is made from a cow you ate. If you take it a little further, those cows and fishes are made from something else too, right? That's how we're all connected. Through fields that can't be seen with the naked eye.
That phrase again.
The dog picture, however, produced a very different result. The percentage of people able to successfully find the dog, it went from 3.9% to 6.8%. There was no way the second group could have seen the picture. They lived far away from Britain and couldn't have seen it.
Oh, wait, does this have something to do with that field? Or whatever it was that you were talking about earlier? A field not visible to the eye.
The silence was broken by Seven.
Hey, what the hell is taking you two so long?
Seven's head appeared in the doorway. He was not happy.
How long are you gonna make me wait? We don't have time to screw around.
Junpei and Clover looked at each other. Clover looked at Junpei as if to say there was more she wanted to tell him. She shook her head. Whatever she had to tell him, she didn't want to tell him in front of Seven. Seven seemed to catch on.
Oh? What were you two doing? Was this some sort of secret meeting?
No, it wasn't. We were just
playing
with the mannequins.
Huh?
Let's go, Jumpei.
Moving a little bit too fast to be entirely innocent, Clover headed towards the exit. Seven stared after her, then turned to Junpei with an amused expression.
Playing with mannequins, huh? Didn't know you were into that kind of thing, Junpei.
You're a dick.
Junpei dashed past him and traced Clover's path out of the door. With a short laugh, Seven followed. They stood in front of the door. Junpei took out the Jupiter key.
All right, I'm gonna open it now. Is that cool?
You don't need to keep asking, just do it, all right?
Fine then.
He slid the key into the keyhole and turned it. He felt it unlock. The door opened with a soft, melancholy creak. Beyond it lay a simple white hallway. There was no fanfare or confetti. Obviously, there was no one there to applaud them. They simply walked through the door. That was it.
All right, let's get going.
Hey, man, what's up with you? You're so serious, you know? Can't you sound more happy, you know, get a little excited?
Not really.
Junpei turned away from Seven and took his first step down the simple white hallway.
My brother might be dead. I'm going to be next.
Clover had told him only a few minutes before that her brother was probably dead and she was likely to follow him.
Like hell I can. Not after hearing something like that.
They left the operating room. The hallway took them around several corners and past several doors, but they were all locked.
There too, huh? Every door in this place is locked up tight.
How about that one?
The final door was hidden in a corner of the wall.
May as well give it a try.
Junpei grabbed the handle. Gonna save it real quick, actually. As he made to push it open, a voice stopped him. The voice came from behind him and belonged to neither Seven nor Clover.
Jumpy!
Huh?
He spun around. He saw someone running towards him from the other end of the hallway. There were 3 people coming towards Junpei and his companions.
June? And Santa? And Lotus, too!
They pulled up short in front of Junpei, breathing hard.
Whoa! What the hell is this?
What are you doing here?
What? But we didn't...
Before he could finish, Clover spoke.
Hey guys, could you come take a look at this?
She was standing near the end of the small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she'd found.
Look on the wall here.
There was something on the wall at the end of the hallway.
A map of the ship's interior?
Yep.
It says C deck.
So it's the map for this floor, then?
Door 7. And... Door 8. Yep, they both eventually end up at this hallway.
In fact...
Yeah, isn't that what I said? We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. And that's how the Nonary game works.
I see.
Junpei looked up the map of the ship's interior again.
Wait a sec. Hey, could this lead to...
As he looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to wariness.
Oh!
You've got to be kidding me.
One by one, the others saw what he'd seen.
We may as well go.
Yeah.
They moved as one for the door.
Oh, almost forgot. We should keep this.
He pulled the map off the ship's interior off the wall, put it in his pocket, and followed the others. The 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke without looking back at the other 5.
Ready? I'm gonna open it.
Slowly, all 5 nodded their silent assent. With a deep breath, Santa threw open the door. They poured through the doorway and into the room. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were.
I knew it.
They were just where the map had said they would be.
We're back. In the hospital room.
I see. I believe I understand what you're saying.
Before we do that, though, let's take a look at Flo. Oh, yeah. See, I opened 2 more things here. So we're good to go here. And that's back in the big room. So we're going to actually skip away to picking between doors 1, 6, and 2. Now, we've already done doors 2 and 1. So let's go with 6 for now. And then we can backtrack to doors 1 and 2 later.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 7 pieces.
The pieces of paper they'd folded up lay on the ground next to Junpei's legs. Everyone had written on paper filled from Junpei's notebook in an effort to pull together a blind vote.
Just double checking, but everyone wrote their code name and a door number they want, right?
Yes, just like you told us earlier.
Can't believe we're voting here.
Why had they decided to vote this way?
We need to make the whole thing fair, blah-de-blah. This is a complicated plan, you know. Hurry it up, Mr. I have a brilliant idea.
They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors.
Yeah, quiet in the peanut gallery.
And he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however. So he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the pieces of paper. Now we know from the previous videos that he actually rigged it so that he would read his last, and then he just switched the paper to whichever one he wanted to go to at that point.
All right, let's open these up. The first one says, Ace requests door 1.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going.
He opened the second one.
Next is Santa. He wants door 6.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Junpei continued with the 3rd, 4th, and 5th pieces of paper.
Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2.
Wait a minute. There is no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man.
Wow, that's harsh.
No, there'd be no point to the voting if we let people change their choices because of stuff like that.
But
Just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma.
Oh god, the insults begin. Let's go.
I am not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes.
Barely.
So, last I checked, that's not a crime.
Maybe. But what about common decency? Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin.
Ouch.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you!
Lotus's hair flailed out like a mane of an angry lion, and she roared with a voice that
not
shook the
good.
walls.
Let go! Let go of me! I'm killing him!
With some difficulty, Ace managed to restrain her.
Junpei, read the rest.
Right.
Junpei tore his eyes away and looked down at the 6th piece of paper. He opened it.
June wants door 6.
Yes, I don't really have a reason. I just felt like it.
All of the papers save Junpei's had been read. He did some quick calculations in his head.
So this was everyone's vote. Ace and Clover requested door 1.
That was the door on A deck near the central staircase. Now, as we discovered, all Junpei had to do was add his name to door 1, and then the numbers matched, and they didn't have to do any rearranging. Because 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 5 is 10, and then 1 plus 0 equals 1. So that was an easy fix.
7 and Lotus requested door 2.
And then 7, same thing. 7 and Lotus will be... They make 16. Wait a minute, hold up. 7 and 8 is 15. 1, and then plus 5 is 20. And then 2 plus 0 equals 2. So same thing. Junpei throws his number in there, and again, it's easy math. This was the door on the bottom deck and could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship.
Santa and June requested door 6.
Okay, so Santa is 3, June is 6. So 3 plus 6 is 9, plus 5 is 14. 1 and 5 equals 15. So they would be short. This was the door on E deck and could be reached by taking the elevator near the central staircase down.
Then the door I should choose is...
It took him less than a second to run the numbers. He opened the 7th piece of paper and spoke.
Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through...
Door 6. As I said, we'll do door 6 here, and then we can backtrack to doors 1 and 2 later.
I want to go through door 6.
Junpei flipped open the piece of paper. It read Junpei, door 6. Of course it did. He'd written it after all. Now, we also know from the previous one that when he initially threw down his piece of paper, he threw down the one that said door 6. Because he was the one reading them, he could simply swap whichever paper it was that he had, and then just hide the rest.
That's a problem.
June spoke barely above a whisper, but they all knew what she'd said.
None of these teams will be able to go through the doors they want.
Pretty much.
Clover and I chose door 1.
Lotus and I chose door 2.
That's not enough people to open a numbered door, however.
No, it's not.
The digital routes don't match up either.
We've got similar problems. Junpei and I want to go through door 6.
And your numbers only add up to a root of 5.
But our digital root is 5. If we're going to open that door, we need a 1.
Damn, what are we gonna do now?
What are we going to do?
Junpei crossed his arms and did his best to put his thoughts in order. The others followed suit, but with little result. So basically, the easiest solution would be add Ace to the door 6 team, and then automatically that puts us at 6, which lets us in. So that leaves Clover by herself. If we add Clover's 3 to 8 and 7, so that's 15. And plus another 4 would be 19. 1 and 4 is 10. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. 7 and 8 is 15. Plus 4 is 19. Yeah, okay. Same wavelength. 1 plus 9 would be equals 10, and then 1 and 0 would equal 1. So they would have to give up on door number 2. Eventually, Clover broke the silence.
Why don't Seven and Lotus go through door 1 with me?
Her face was cold and flat, as was her voice, but her logic was sound. 7 and Lotus looked at each other. 7 and 8 plus 4 equals 19. 1 and 9 equals 10, and 1 and 0 equals 1. The first problem solved, Ace spoke up.
What about me?
You would move on to the group that goes to door 6.
Isn't that obvious? Wasn't one of the teams just complaining that they didn't have a 1?
You mean I should join Santa's team?
Yes.
Clover nodded, her face still cold and emotionless. Her attitude and posture could not have been more different than the energetic girl of only a few hours before. No one seemed ready to contradict her. Her response was understandable, given the horrible situation in which she had found herself. But even so...
Huh. I understand. I'll go through door 6 then. If we do as Clover has suggested, we can all pass through a numbered door and no one will be left behind. This seems to be the most reasonable solution.
6 plus 3 plus 5 plus 1 equals 15. 1 and 5 is 6.
7, Lotus. What do you guys think?
I don't have a problem with it.
Me either.
All right, then. We're good to go.
See you later.
Wait, Clover! Don't move on your own!
Oh, I'll be going too then.
Yeah. Be careful.
We should get going as well.
At last, Junpei and the other 6 had managed to separate themselves into 2 teams. Clover, 7, and Lotus headed to A deck, where door 1 was, near the main staircase. Junpei, June, Ace, and Santa, however, took the elevator to E deck. The ride to E deck was a silent one.
This is E deck.
There should be a door at the end of the hall.
All right, let's go.
Santa's words jolted them to action, and they stepped off the elevator into a long, straight hallway. Before long, they arrived in front of door 6.
Here it is. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Then let's get to it.
One by one, they put their palms over the red. With a soft electronic noise, it authenticated each of them. The door opened, and all at once the 4 of them leapt through it.
Hey, I found it. It's right there.
Fortunately, the dead was located easily enough. This one had been placed quite close to the door they'd entered through. They gathered around it quickly and hurriedly placed their palms on it for authentication one by one.
It stopped.
Yes, it stopped.
The countdown had ceased, but Junpei's heart was still pounding in his chest, like a frantic, thunderous drum. It felt as though it might shake itself up and out of his throat.
Whew. I don't believe I'll ever get used to that.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
Seems like the third room, Junpei always makes this joke.
You got that right. Once I'm out of this hellhole, I'm taking a nice long vacation.
I agree.
With that, the doom and gloom from before was done, and the mood turned somewhat lighter.
All right, let's go.
With that attempt at good humor, Junpei took a deep breath and began to walk. He jogged down the stairs at the end of the hallway and found himself staring at a large door.
This door looks heavy.
But it's not locked. I'm opening it.
He took hold of the bar that served as its doorknob and shoved it down. The room beyond stopped him in his tracks. It was gargantuan and made entirely of metal. None of the accents of wood or tile he'd seen in the rest of the ship. This room was purely functional, but utterly tremendous. Yeah, no kidding.
Whoa, what the hell is this?
Santa got out a few words before awe stole the rest of them. The rest were too stunned to offer anything more than gasps.
This has to be the biggest room so far. The ceiling is pretty high, too.
Huh. Could be 2 stories, maybe even more.
I would probably double the 2 there, Santa.
This space could be utilizing the entire length of the ship.
What's that huge Kamaboko-looking building in the middle?
June pointed to the massive building in the center.
Kamaboko? Well, I guess that's as good of a description of it as any.
Junpei and the others were standing on scaffolding that crisscrossed the whole area. The proper term was catwalk, Junpei thought, although that didn't seem particularly important.
I see stairs, so we may as well head over to them.
Yeah, but this section's barely wide enough to fit 1 person.
You're right.
So we move one at a time, single file. Nearby was a long iron staircase that made its way eventually to the floor beneath them.
Whoa, you can't even tell the shape when you're this close.
Let's check out the other side, too.
They moved around towards the opposite side of the massive building, following the catwalk. They hadn't said much as they walked, but as they approached the building, Ace suddenly spoke up.
This looks to be the steam engine room.
The steam engine room?
Yes, that thing that looks like a cross-section of a mushroom is the boiler. Do you see the 3 round doors near the bottom? Coal is put into those and burned, which heats the water, producing steam. The same thing that drives a steam engine. This one is simply somewhat larger.
I see.
It doesn't appear to be running right now.
The entire room was as silent as the grave.
All right, let's split up.
Then all of a sudden, Junpei heard a noise behind him. He turned just in time to see June collapse to her knees.
Hey, what's wrong? Are you all right?
He dashed towards her and wrapped his arm around her shoulders to steady her.
Hey, June.
It was then that he noticed.
Jumpy.
Oh, you're really warm. Is your fever coming back?
Yes, it probably is, but I'm fine. Please, don't worry about me. I just need to rest, and I'll be fine.
Her voice was weak and forced, and it said a great deal more than her words did.
Okay, here, sit down, careful.
Junpei carried her to the nearest wall and propped her up against it. She let her head fall back against the wall, as if she no longer had the strength to support it, and drew a ragged breath.
Thank you.
Her eyes were empty, as if she was having trouble focusing them, and even speaking seemed difficult for her. Junpei felt his hand ball itself into a fist and clenched tight, his knuckles whitening. He had to find a way out, and quickly. He turned and looked at Ace and Santa in turn.
Ace, Santa.
Yes.
Right.
They might not have shared the depth of his emotion, but they certainly shared his concern.
All right, let's get started. Hang in there, June. I'm gonna get you out of here real soon.
She managed a small nod before leaning back to rest her head against the wall. And it's back to the puzzles. So it certainly does not look like June's going to be much help here, which is fine, I guess. She just needs to recover. In the meantime, Santa, Ace, and I get the joy of exploring. A tunnel goes all the way across the ship. I'd say this is probably here to move coal from place to place. It probably comes from over there. And then the belt carries it down the tunnel and out here. So if the conveyor belt was moving, yes, the coal would almost certainly come out of there. Excuse me? Look at that button. It's glowing orange, right? That's gotta mean something. I guess pressing it is the best way to find out if it does anything, Santa. Nothing. It's a square hole? Nothing in here. Ah, look at the back wall there. I can see 3 small slots. Terminals for some kind of connector, perhaps. You mean you think we're supposed to plug something in here? Perhaps. There's a square hole in the side of the tunnel. There are 3 slots here. They look like connector terminals for something. Okay, I guess that's it. This is the huge oven for this boiler. There are 3 open areas in it. Each of the open areas has a gear in it. A golden gear. It doesn't look like it was always golden like this. Well then, I imagine it was prepared especially for this cave. This gear is rusty, but it looks like it's still pretty sturdy. It looks like there's a door over there in this tunnel. The belt over there must deliver the coal, which is then picked up and thrown into this door. The door appears to be welded shut, however. So much for that. Big gear in each of the 3 open areas. There are a bunch of wooden boxes over here by the wall. Sorry about that, folks. I already looked through those. There's nothing there. There's a barrel under the stairs. Sweet. Unfortunately, it's empty. Okay. There's a pair of wooden boxes here. There's nothing in them. Look, Ace! It's some kind of snowman's secret meeting. Those are just bags full of sand. You use them as a counterweight when you're lifting something with a pulley system. Man, you're too serious. Well, that was a seriously shitty joke there, so I can't really blame him for not playing along. There was a pillar like this on the other side. Yeah, you're right. It's a silver gear. Do you think it's made of pure silver? No way. Silver's way too soft to use for gear. It's gotta be a steel or an iron gear that's been coated with silver. Ugh. Shouldn't have called it a silver gear then. Shouldn't have got your hopes up. Were you thinking you'd haul this thing back? Nah, but I think Seven could probably carry it, don't you? Conveyor belt runs into a sort of arched tunnel. This gear is rusty, but it looks like it's still pretty sturdy. What is this? Given its placement, this must unlock the door to the left. There's a weird indentation in the top of this thing. You think that means you have to insert something here? Yes, I would imagine so. There's a thick iron door blocking our way. You think this is... Yes. It looks like the exit. Looks like the door slides up into the ceiling. Oh man, Junpei, I can't believe I missed something so important. What's so important? Look at those stairs. Look at them carefully. That gap. That height. That angle. It's perfect. Perfect? Perfect for what? Whatever, just bring Clover here right now. Tell her she needs to walk up and down these stairs. Huh? Clover's not here. What the hell is he talking about? So because of the angle and the fact that the gaps are open, he's a pervert. What's this? These 2 columns are different from others. The lights are red. Slider is down. Looks like Santa wants to give this one a shot. Ugh, damn it! Nothing. This thing won't budge. The 3 sliders on the left are down, but this one is up. Those are a number of lines, and there are a number of lines engraved in these. I suspect they are meant to do something rather specific with them. Junpei, why don't you move that slider down? Well, there's no harm in trying, I suppose. Nothing. Nothing happened. Maybe it needs to be prepared somehow. You're saying if we did something somewhere else, it'd respond somehow? Yes, I suppose that's one way of putting it. The door we came through when we entered the steam engine room. Okay, so back down. Ah! Man, this thing is huge. I guess the ship this big needs something like that to power it. True, but I doubt a single boiler of this size could actually move a ship like this at any reasonable speed. You'd need at least 4 of these. I guess you know a lot about boats, huh? Well, not really. It's just common sense, you know? Stairs stretch from the catwalk to the boiler. There are a number of these little windows along the inside of this thing. I think you're supposed to put coal in through these, but they're welded shut. I don't think we can get these open. Okay. Pillar goes up towards the ceiling. There are a number of cloth bags over there. There's nothing but sand in them. There's a pair of boxes here. There are 2 pillars that reach up towards the ceiling. Okay. Okay, that was weird. My game minimized for a second. So is there a way to go down to the other side? Okay, I guess not. I got a feeling this is important. This gear is rusty, but it looks still pretty sturdy. Okay, and I don't have any items, so what am I supposed to do here? Huh. I don't really get it, but apparently these stairs are perfect for something. Catwalk on the upper floor. There's a staircase that reaches out from the catwalk to the boiler. Oh, okay, maybe I'm supposed to turn this. One of the doors on the furnace. There's an A on it. There's a circular wheel in the center of the door. Alright, let's give this sucker a twist. Ah! Well, it's noisy, but it opens. And it's totally pitch black in here. We should, go in there. Alright! Let's go. This looks just like the door we went into. Where are we? We must be on the other side, yes? Which would put us directly above the conveyor belt. At any rate, we should keep moving. There's a great deal we've yet to investigate. Okay, so now we can investigate this side here. There are a whole bunch of boxes in my way. Can't get through. Catwalk. I can see some scaffolding on the wall over there. So what happens if we go through door C? Ah! Okay. Looks like a hand-operated winch. But it doesn't look like there's any way to operate it. That means the wheel isn't attached. This damn pile of boxes is blocking my way. Okay, so what happens if we go to B? Alright, let's give this wheel a spin. What? That's weird. I don't feel any resistance. Gah! Ah, shit. Ha! It's a wheel that seems to be part of the winch. There's some pegs on the back of it that look like they go in the holes of the winch. Great! Good job, genius! You broke it. I didn't break it. It broke all by itself. So I guess I go back through B. And go back to C. A hand-operated winch. There's no wheel to turn. Oh yeah. I've got the wheel I pulled off the other winch, don't I? Let's see if it fits. Sweet, it's a perfect fit. Like they were made for each other. Not shaky at all. Good. I should be able to turn this now. Good work, Junpei. We should be able to haul up the wooden box now. You see, the wooden box, it's under the catwalk. Can you see it? It's hanging from the rope on the winch, isn't it? It looks like there's some sort of device in the box. I'm not sure what it is. At any rate, you might as well turn that wheel now. I'm counting on you. Alright, I'll turn the wheel. Huh? What's this? What happened? This wheel only turns to the left. It only turns to the left? That means we can't reel up that rope. Yeah. We can only let the rope down. Interesting. I don't think that will be a problem. We will simply need to go downstairs after letting the rope box down. I will be counting on you, Junpei. Sure thing, no sweat.
I believe the box has reached the floor.
Yeah.
He stuck his head out over the side of the catwalk and looked down. The box that had only recently hung just below the catwalk now sat on the floor. It had come to rest near the end of the tunnel that covered the conveyor belt.
June's down over by there.
Junpei could see her, still leaning against the wall as if she barely had the strength to sit up. Even from so far away, it was not difficult to see that she had not improved. He almost thought he could see heat rising from her body.
She doesn't seem to be improving.
Ace's expression was inscrutable, but he'd said what they'd been all thinking.
Well, of course not. She's not gonna just get better right away, you know? It'll take time.
He tried desperately to convince himself that what he'd said was true.
What could be causing this, I wonder? Illness, perhaps?
Nah, it's gotta be exhaustion.
Santa's response was confident and certain.
She gets dropped into some weird-ass ship, forced to play some messed-up game. If you think about it, it's a lot weirder that we aren't freaking out just like her, you know?
I mean, that's a fair point.
So you're saying we're abnormal?
Yeah. We're just running around this room, solving all these puzzles like it's just business as usual. How the hell could you call that normal? We're just guinea pigs.
Santa snorted in disgust.
A guinea pig? You mean like a lab rat? You mean we're being used for some sort of experiment? Is that what you're saying?
Dunno. But it does seem like a possibility, you know?
They stood there for a few more minutes, no one speaking, until Santa turned and walked away from the winch. Junpei and Ace followed him. Okay, so I guess we go back down? The pair of boxes here. Ah, there we go. Control panel for something. Some kind of machine. Maybe a control panel? Maybe this hole is where the control panel goes. Well, there's only one way to find out. In you go. Dude, you did it! Everything looks alright. Okay, but what do we do now? Why don't you press the button next to it? The orange one? Yes. Alright, I'll do that. Pushing. Sweet. All sorts of lights are lighting up on this thing. And, oh, yes, I think I just heard something turn on. Oh? What's that? What happened? Junpei, look, the conveyor belt's moving. Conveyor belt? Well, I guess it's done moving now. There's still a bunch of coal on the belt, though. Looks like a bunch of it got dumped off the end of the belt into that wooden box where we found the control panel. Coal. Coal, huh? Box filled with coal. A wooden box full of coal. Guess there's really only one thing we can do with this stuff. Yeah, I guess put it in the furnace? Nothing happened when I moved the slider down. One of the doors to the furnace. There's a C on it. Hand-operated winch. There's no wheel on it anymore. I don't think we need to turn the wheel anymore. Okay, so I guess we go back down. This supports and braces the sides of the ship. We might be right above where June's resting. There are several catwalks spidering across the walls of the room. This gear is rusty, but it looks like it's still perfectly sturdy. Huge silver gear. I've got a feeling it's important. There's a pair of boxes here. Ah! There's a small door on the side of the tunnel. It's welded shut and won't open. Oh, okay. Never mind. Huge golden gear. I have a feeling it's important. Yeah, no shit. But what am I supposed to do with this box of coal? Small door on the side of this tunnel. It's welded shut and won't open. A huge bronze gear. This has to be important. This gear is rusty, but it looks like it's still pretty sturdy. You have an excellent memory. Use that to draw a map inside your head. That way you won't get lost. One of the doors on the furnace, there's an A on it. So I guess I'm supposed to go back down? Okay, I may have to look this one up because I'm not getting it. I don't know what to do with the box of coal. Ah! This is a massive furnace for the boil. There's a door built into it near the bottom where you can put coal in it. Okay. There's a pole that will let us put coal into the furnace. Maybe if we can get some coal in there and set it on fire. Okay, let's do this. Alright, that's the last of it. No coal left in the wooden box. And nothing. Great. Well, I guess I should have expected that. Why would just throwing coal into a cold furnace do anything? Oh well, a man can dream. Junpei, explain it to me again. You're planning to stoke the furnace with coal, which will heat the water stored up there and make steam, which will then drive something else. Am I correct? In other words, you want to generate enough pressure with the steam to power the turbine and drive the steam engine, right? Yeah, I guess that's the gist of it. Well, in that case, this isn't enough coal. This furnace is enormous, so we're going to need a whole hell of a lot more coal than this. Very well then, if the three of us work together, then we should manage to fill it much faster.
I want to help too.
Man, I totally didn't even see her walk up. Are you feeling up to it?
Yes.
Yeah, right. You look like you're one stiff breeze away from falling over, June. I think you'd better rest some more, alright?
But I...
No arguing. You need your rest. So you just stay there. We'll handle this.
Okay. Okay, I understand.
Alright, time for some manly work. Let's get this coal into those furnaces. Man, this is a lot of work. Alright, I think this should be sufficient. Alright, now we just gotta light it. Junpei, hand me your matches. What makes you think I have matches? I see. Then how are we gonna light it? Perhaps there's a device nearby that will allow us to remotely ignite the coal. Let's take a look, shall we? Some sort of ignition device, huh? Okay. Let's go back up. Oh, look, all of the things are on now, so we can actually pull this and ignite it. Is this? I think it might be. It probably is. I think this is how we might ignite the furnace. That means that if we move that thing down. Alright, let's do it. Here we go. Hey, Junpei, Ace, look at this. There are big gears turning under the boiler there. Ah! The gears. They're spinning. What the hell are you guys waiting for? Let's start looking. Gold disc. The gold disc. It has a number of lines engraved on it. I can make out 3 colors here, red, blue, and black. I wonder what they mean. Back. The bronze. The bronze disc. Bronze disc. It has a bunch of lines on it in 3 different colors, red, blue, and black. The silver disc. It has a bunch of lines on it, but the red ones really stand out, right? The red ones, huh? This gear is rusty, but it looks like it's still pretty sturdy. Aha! Looks like this thing unlocks the door. There's a depression here that looks like it's the outline of 3 circles laid on top of each other in a triangle. Maybe if we put those 3 discs we found into this thing. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's stick them in. Huh? That's odd. Nothing's happening. Maybe you're, I don't know, putting them in the wrong places? Perhaps you have them facing the wrong direction. Perhaps you should rotate the discs to make some of the lines connect to one another. Well, no harm in trying. Instructions for operation. Yeah, I kind of figured it would be a little mini game. When the disc is clicked, it will rotate in a certain amount. When the white arrow is clicked, the discs are switched. Please note that when the discs are switched, the angles for the discs are reset. Okay, so... Oh, nice. The red lines on these discs. I think maybe I can make the star polygon with these. Oh, look at that.
Yes! The door's open!
Given the circumstances, Junpei's happiness was certainly understandable. Ace seemed to share his excitement.
All right, Junpei. Why don't you go get June now? Santa and I will keep an eye on the store.
Santa snorted.
Why do we need to do that? Even if it shuts, we know how to solve the puzzle now. We could just open it again.
Well, I suppose that's true.
He wants to give us privacy.
Shall all 3 of us go and collect June then?
Nah, I'm cool. I'll let Junpei handle it.
He still seemed irritated by something, however, and sat down on the stairs petulantly.
So are you only interested in being contrary?
Yes. Ace sighed with the air of a long-suffering parent.
All right, I'll go get June. I'll be right back.
He gave a quick nod to Ace and Santa and dashed off down the stairs. Before long, he was back on the first floor, next to the conveyor belt and June.
Oh, Jumpei!
As he drew closer, she stood up, slowly.
Are you okay?
He did his best to sound calm and nonchalant, but there was no hiding the genuine concern in his voice.
Yes, I'm fine now. I'm sorry I made you worry.
June blushed. He wasn't sure if she was embarrassed or still feverish.
Let me check.
Just to make sure, he reached out and put his hand against her forehead.
Good. You're feeling a lot better.
She was feeling far less warm than she had earlier, but still wasn't down to what seemed normal to him.
Are you sure you're all right?
He had to be sure. June gave him a look.
Oh, you're such a warrior, Jumpei. Oops, I mean, warrior.
I was gonna say, the context of that seemed a little off there. June giggled. He wasn't sure if she just made a joke or not, but seeing her smile again made Junpei feel at ease. If she was well enough to smile and laugh, then she really was feeling much better. He gave her a friendly poke on the forehead.
All right, let's go.
Go where?
Oh, right. I didn't tell you. We got the exit open, so...
Great! Let's go!
June clasped her hands and nodded urgently. They headed back to the exit, but on their way they found...
Oh, it's...
Santa?
Santa sitting on the stairs. He was, however, holding something in his right hand and staring at it with a strange expression. Junpei and June slowed down and finally stopped in front of him.
What are you looking at?
Santa answered without looking up, his voice quiet.
It's a photo. It's my sister.
Aww.
Sister? Santa, you've got a sister?
Santa simply nodded.
Yeah. Kid was cute as a button.
Let me guess. She disappeared 9 years ago, and then after 9 days, was found again. June cocked her head, confused.
She was only about an inch tall then?
Santa glared at her.
Oh, sorry. I guess an inch is a little large for a button. Probably more like a half inch.
Ouch! Where are the short jokes coming from, June? What the hell? Santa did not smile or laugh.
Sorry.
Why are you looking at it?
He misses her, duh. He simply turned back to his picture and spoke.
I was her Santa Claus.
Wait, what?
This sudden revelation took Junpei by surprise. He had no idea what Santa meant. He glanced at June, who shook her head. She didn't know either.
Have you ever heard the story of the two Santa Clauses? It goes that a long time ago, there were two Santas. One of them wore white, and the other one wore black. The white Santa gave presents to good kids, and the black Santa played tricks on bad kids. It went on like that for a while, but eventually the black Santa's tricks started to get worse and worse.
So the black Santa is Krampus.
Pretty soon, the white Santa couldn't stand it anymore, and he stabbed the black Santa to death.
Whoa! Not where I saw that story going.
When he stabbed the other Santa, the white Santa got blood all over his clothes.
And that's why his clothes are red. Wow, that's dark. That is a Santa tale I have never heard before. It's interesting if it's, well, obviously it's not true, but if it were true, wow. Just wow.
And that's why, these days, his clothes are red. You could say that red is all that's left of the black Santa.
Junpei was silent. He could think of nothing to say. So wait a minute, if you say that you're her Santa Claus, does this mean you killed her? June was staring at Santa, sadness plain on her face. He continued.
I wonder which Santa I am.
Oh, okay, no, he has no idea.
The white Santa or the black Santa?
Or the red Santa.
Huh.
Aww.
All right, let's go.
Santa stood up suddenly, his downcast demeanor gone. He shoved the picture back in his pocket and headed back up the stairs, taking them 2 at a time.
Huh?
Junpei and June looked at one another. There was nothing they could think of to say.
Hey, what are you two doing? Let's get moving, come on!
Santa's voice echoed across the room from above them.
Let's go.
Yeah.
They nodded and followed him quickly up the stairs. Ace was waiting for them at the top. He was leaning against the handrail. He looked very tired.
Oh, you're finally back.
The door had shut, but it wasn't cause for concern.
Sorry we took so long.
Junpei quickly solved the disc puzzle a second time, and the door opened again.
Let's go.
In single file, they walked through.